Hey guys, Pyronic here, and today, oh wow, kind of freaking out a little bit here. Uh, doing some gameplay commentary on release day Rubick, the newest hero to be added to the Dota 2 client. This is on the live client and not on the test server. So we've got full teams on both sides. Managed to snag Rubick here faster than anybody. This is the first time I've ever played him. I didn't get to play him in Dota 1 ever, so I really didn't really know what I was going to be getting myself into. I had looked over his skills, but I never looked up any item builds or skill builds. So don't take this as a definitive guide on how to play the hero. So I'm playing here with the Drow Ranger Slacko, who's fairly new to Dota 2, so I'm trying to help him out here. He random Drow Ranger and was looking for some advice. A quick explanation of Rubick's skills here. Telekinesis. You cast it on an enemy, and it raises them up in the air for a duration up to 2.25 seconds, and then it'll slam them down and stun enemies in an AoE around that person, but not the person you lifted up, for up to 1.75 seconds. It's got an 18-second cooldown, 120 mana cost. It's pretty good. You can attack people and cast spells on them while they're being lifted up into the air, so it's an excellent disable 2.25 seconds, as well as being able to toss them into enemies for that extra stun. But when I first when I was playing this game, I didn't realize that the stun duration and lift duration went up as you leveled. I thought it was it was a constant thing with like cooldown and mana cost going down. So I only got one level of it and ended up maxing Fade Bolt, which is Rubick's other active non-ult spell. It's sort of like a chain lightning type spell that does quite a bit of damage, up to 300. How many targets does it bounce to? A lot of targets. It doesn't even say on the tooltip. Oh well, it does damage, and it reduces attack damage of enemies that it hits. So I use it here kind of a lot early game. I'm just sort of last hitting with it because I'm not familiar at all with Rubick's last hitting animation or damage. And I didn't want to lose the lane here to this Leshrac. It does cost a lot of mana, so this is definitely not the the most efficient way to play the early game. But it's it worked for me in this game, and you'll see that maxing Fade Bolt has some interesting outcomes a little later in the game. Rubick's third skill here is Null Field. It's a passive aura that gives your entire team up to 20% magic resist. This is a really good aura. The magic resist is super helpful against lots of heroes. And just looking at the enemy team in this game, Fire Breath, Slardar Crush, everything Leshrac does. Multiple, the nuke from Shadow Shaman, and also Morphling's Waveform and Adaptive Strike. So let's head back over to my perspective here. To start out with items, I just got some base regen and iron branches to fill my inventory, just for the extra stat boost and everything. I'm grabbing a bottle here, having the courier bring it to me eventually. I think I just wanted to get a last hit, even though I missed it. And so I kind of was wanting to play this with a bottle roaming mid type build, but I wasn't exactly sure how well that was going to go. I didn't really, I still have never used telekinesis, so I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work out. Leshrac sort of dodging top there. I think he was going for Rune, or checking to see if Rune was there. I don't remember what happened to the first Rune in the game. I think somebody else got it. Anyways, so I'm leveling up Fade Bolt. I thought telekinesis duration was maxed with just one level, so I'm going to be maxing Null Field next and getting telekinesis last. I really do like maxing Fade Bolt first. I think you get a lot of damage out of it. So I think in future games I'll probably still max Fade Bolt first. But you know, I might go for telekinesis, more levels of telekinesis before leveling up Null Field. Null Field is really good, but the effectiveness isn't as much early game as you can imagine. You know, unless you're being really heavily nuked, or somebody else on your team is being really heavily nuked, and you want to you know, give them that aura. So yeah, Rubick does have some good options here. We have the rune or the ward in the top river, so I know that the rune for 4 minutes spawned in the bottom river here, grabbing this haste. So I'm going to come down. I'm trying to remember if I come down and gank. No, heading back to mid now. Oh, I think I'm going to pop this haste and head to top to gank soon. But you know, just staying here mid, keeping the Leshrac occupied, missing a lot of last hits, last hitting with Fade Bolt instead of auto attacking. So the other thing was with the Fade Bolt, because of the AD reduction on targets, your wave is going to push pretty heavily. So I think if you're not mid, using Fade Bolt frequently is really going to be detrimental to your lane, unless you are trying to actively push towards the tower. Otherwise, you're just going to end up pushing to the enemy tower and having a more difficult lane to deal with. Leshrac came and left the lane and went to gank bottom. I did call it, I think. I might have been using the voice chat. I didn't say anything in text. So still haven't gotten any use out of this haste rune.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Nothing happened out of Leshrac going bot, or rather no kills. So I'm just farming some more here. We're about to hit the 6-minute rune in a sec. And that is
double desolation.
Also bottom. Oh right, the Leshrac picks up the double damage. I should have noticed that. But my haste rune here is going to pop pretty soon. Yeah, I used that myself this time. And getting my mana back, just using the charges here. Getting a little harass, auto attack harass on the Leshrac here. Now I'm going to use the last charge in here. Oh, right. I bought my magic wand and boots. Really, spamming this Fade Bolt in lane is just such a huge mana investment. So I want to get boots and magic wand. Get the magic wand as well as the bottle for as much regen as possible. Especially with this Leshrac, who has the potential to just spam spells like crazy and give me a lot of those charges. I have hit 6 now, or level 7 actually, so I do have Spell Steal, which is Rubick's main sort of theme here. You use it on an enemy hero, and the most recent active spell they cast that is not Invoker's Quas Wex Exhort or Invoke, and you will take that spell for a period of 180, 240, or 300 seconds. So that's 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Or until you die. And you can cast it, you steal the spell at the same rank and upgrade level that your opponent has it. So I haven't tested this out myself, so this is sort of hearsay, I might be wrong. But if you take Raise, or if you take Shadow Fiend's ult, then you get it at the same number of souls he had when you stole it. If you take a spell that is upgraded with Aghanims, you also get the Aghanims upgraded version. And another rumor I've heard that I haven't gotten a chance to test out is if you get an Aghanims, it doesn't have any effect on Spell Steal, but the thing I've heard is that it will give you the Aghanims upgraded versions of any ults you steal that had that possibility. So Leshrac left the lane to go ganking again, picked up another haste rune, and and just farming a little more. I think I really wanted to get arcane boots before I went and ganked very much, so I do see that there's a lot of stuff going on bottom, so I pop the haste and my bottle here, and I start heading down bottom, but they're already that tower's going to go down before I get down there. Warded the bottom rune there, and the tower's going to go down to the Serpent Wards. So there wasn't a whole lot I could have done there, except, you know, I probably should have come down much earlier. I was pretty focused on just trying to farm, and because I, you know, haven't been farming all that well, when Leshrac leaves the lane, I really want to try and get as much gold as possible. I am going to go for arcane boots this game, and then according to his recommended items, I pick up a waveform there. That's the first instance of spell steal. I got Rubick's recommended items has you going for a bloodstone, which is actually really useful, and you go through mana so quickly. You know, you've got 2 nukes and whatever other spell you pick up with spell steal. So if you steal another nuke here, I escape with the stolen waveform there, just in case. I wasn't sure exactly what was who else was around there, and Shadow Shaman was near Morphling, so it's a good thing that I didn't try and fight or cast anything else there. So Bloodstone is really good because, you know, it's, you know, the quintessential regen, max HP, max mana item, so you get a really good benefit out of it. Grabbing a regen here, this is definitely what I needed. Going to cast waveform here while the regen is still going, and then coming up here in mid. My waveform's almost off of cooldown now. It's off cooldown, and let's see if we can make something out of this. We have 4 of our 5, actually all 5 of us here mid. The Storm Spirit a little further up. And there's just, you know, some stuff going on both sides. Managed to get that Leshrac. I tried to waveform for the, who was that? Shadow Shaman. Get plinked by the tower there and decide to back off. We probably could have initiated a little earlier. But, you know, even though I have Morphling's waveform, I only have 758 HP, so I really didn't want to initiate with my waveform. It would have been pretty dangerous, especially if my allies didn't follow up. And, you know, just being a pub game, you never really can be sure if your allies are going to follow up. Good nukes on the Morphling there, and I just run up and Fade Bolt for the kill. It's a pretty strong nuke. I do have that maxed out, so it's 300 damage. With a decent cast range, that's, you know, I think one of the better parts of the spell is you can really just kind of zap that from pretty far. And now showing off the farming capabilities of spell steal there. Cast Fade Bolt and then the waveform, and just picked up a free whole creep wave there for quite a bit of mana. Going to grab this double damage and fill up my mana again. And now I've got enough money from arcane boots, so now we'll be able to spam even more spells. Up to 848 max mana. That's still not a whole lot of spells being cast. Waveform ran out here. I only get to keep it for 3 minutes at level 1 alt. You know, helping Drow Ranger here. I was explaining how she's complaining. Drow Ranger was complaining that her attack speed and attack animation were annoying. I was explaining as the fact that her ult gives agility, and that she kind of has to compensate for you know, getting all that free attack speed gain later on. So here I picked up Lightning Storm. This is kind of one of the most interesting parts about playing Rubick in this game, is now I have 2 long range, you know, decent damage nuke chain spells that hit every target along the way. So I'm gonna come up here after this Leshrac and see if we can start a fight. You'll be able to see this in action. Maybe. No, I never remember this. We aren't going to be able to fight here. The they do see me here. The Slardar comes down and casts amp damage, so I just run out.
Middle tower is
We
under
have this Morphling and Shadow Shaman here. So this Morphling decides to come up, use telekinesis, and just run away here. It's still level 1. He nuked me down pretty hard, pretty fast. I did still have my salve, so I just popped that. And I'm gonna try and show some stuff off here. So the Morphling takes some tower damage and just runs in, so I just popped Fade Bolt and Lightning, and it was, you know, oh, I grabbed the Shadow Shaman's wards there and tried to go after the Leshrac. It's a little bit difficult. It's a little bit different having the Serpent wards and not having Hex or Shackles. So I wasn't able to get a whole lot done there. It was more of a reflex thing, as I didn't want to get chased by the enemy team. So Drow coming in here, and we're just going to pick off the rest of these enemy Serpent wards for some easy gold. I did pop my double damage in order to get mana back when I used my bottle. And I'm just going to cast a little on the wave here and try to push up the mid wave and get this tower, popping the arcane boots. Still got about 60 seconds on the Serpent wards here. A little fork lightning going off. This hasted hasted Shadow Shaman. That was a little bit of a mistake there. I thought we finished off the tower, got it down to single-digit health, and then I went to go chase off the hasted Shadow Shaman. Shadow Shaman came back just for one last hit and denied the tower. So that was a pretty embarrassing mistake on my part. So Leshrac pretty upset, 13-1. At this point, it's mostly the Dragon Knight and Morphling who've just died 5 times each. So that's you know, things are looking pretty rough for their team. I still haven't gotten a whole lot of action. I do have 2 kills now. I think both on the Morphling actually. So getting a little bit of gold here. I'm trying to remember what I go for. Point booster probably. I accidentally grabbed the Vit booster, so sold it back and grabbed the point booster. Popping the arcane boots and going to head back to mid here. And it looks like our team is going to try and group up and push. The Dire team is all up in the top jungle, but we don't really have any vision there. So I'm just kind of being way too aggressive here. I got caught way out. I was a little disappointed here as my team just sort of ran. It was a 5v4, and you know, they're chasing me. They used a couple spells on me, and my whole team ran. Any kind of disables, shackle shot, or you know, Kunkka Zult or Storm Spirit initiating would have prevented me dying and giving us an easy team fight. So this is sort of a you know, pub team fighting. So I got caught out there, and is you know, pretty easily avoidable death in my opinion. Got back now, and there was, you know, just an easy, well, should have been an easy team fight for our team, but we've actually gone down or traded 2 for 1 there, losing Windrunner and Kunkka for just the Shadow Shaman. What can you do? Casting the Fade Bolt. Don't have another spell to cast. Going to try and steal something here. Grab the lightning. Back off. Tried to bounce it. I'm just gonna cast the spells on Leshrac and then back off. Didn't quite have the distance to chain onto the Dragon Knight. If I had been able to chain both those spells, if the chain distance was long enough, that would have been probably a pickup, or at least very close to a pickup. So, oh well. Showing off the wave clearing capability of double chain spells. So that's a 300 and 265, so 565 chain nuke, jumping across the whole creep wave. It's not too bad. We find this Dragon Knight here, got a little caught out, telekinesis, and some auto attacks, and we take him out.
On my eyes.
So if you notice, when I cast telekinesis on him there, the Drow and myself were both still auto attacking for the duration. She got off like 3 or 4 auto attacks while he was up in the air with just a level 1 telekinesis. So you can imagine that's, you know, quite a bit of free damage there, and I even could have thrown him, you know, further back if I thought we needed more damage. We do have a little initiation by the enemy team going on here. Fade Bolt, telekinesis. Probably could have lightninged. There's a good ship there by Kunkka. Using my bottle, regenning back up. Getting Hex. What I really wanted here was the Dragon Knight's ult. So you'll see me try and get that a couple times as the game progresses here. There, I thought I got it there, but it ended up being Dragon Tail. He did stun, or I didn't even see him stun a hero. I think he might have accidentally stunned a creep between when I was able to get Spell Steal. So another thing I didn't realize is the AoE for Spell Steal is actually really huge. You can steal for quite a distance away, which is something I'll use later in the game to snag some spells. So we have a Stealth Kunkka coming up here. He still hasn't done anything. I end up casting Fade Bolt. I realize at this point that I have Dragon Tail. Telekinesis on the Morphling stuns his team. And I find myself sorely wishing I had Dragon Form, Elder Dragon Form. Kunkka's being, just going up and farming stuff. The other team, the Dire team, is backed off for now. So we're just gonna go, I guess, do some more farming. Oh, we had kind of a big lag spike right there, which I think was part of the reason that the Dire team backed off. Everybody in the game sort of froze for like 3 seconds. So I mean, this was like, you know, minutes after the patch went live. We got right into this game, and I picked Rubick. So there was still some weird issues as the the server load was balancing out, I think. We did lose the top tower there, but it's, you know, we're still ahead by so much at this point. It's not really that much concern. We're ahead in both experience and gold. Things are heading a little bit back in the Dire's favor, but you know, we're just ahead by such a huge margin at this point. Almost 5,000 experience and about 3,000 gold. We're going to start pushing this back up in our favor again as we sort of push towards top lane here. And still working on that Bloodstone. What I probably should have done, actually I thought about this while we were in the game and decided against it, was disassembling my arcane boots and opting for buying the bit booster to complete the Soul Gem? Soul Booster? Yeah, Soul Booster is the one. And then, you know, getting the Bloodstone that much faster, but I opted for keeping the arcane boots for now. Telekinesis, holding a guy up, casting Fade Bolt. Haven't grabbed anything in a while, still have this Dragon Tail. Melee cast Dragon Tail is not very useful for Rubick, so I'm not really going to get any use out of this at all, I think.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Dire fortified, and we were nowhere near the top tower or the bottom tower. Kunkka is in mid, working on the tower there, and he picks that up anyways, so there wasn't really, probably not the best use of fortification. We have a little bit of fighting going on here. I'm just sort of staying back and pushing the wave. Drow gets picked up by the Shadow Shaman. I'm just gonna run back here. I realize the rest of my team is sort of still here. We kind of might want to fight this. They want to fight it. We have a power shot going off. He gets amp damaged, and there's a good torrent on the Slardar, so we're gonna get away from this quite easily, even with sprint. He's still gonna come after us for a little while, but decides against it. The rest of the team is up here, and the Kunkka wandered back. Very, very bad idea. I'm gonna start taking a bit of damage here. I'm just gonna run. Windrunner's gonna run, and we're gonna get out of there quite easily. The Kunkka was not expecting the rest of the Slardar's team to be up in those woods. Just kind of walked into a bad situation. We're up 10 kills at this point, and I almost have my soul booster for the Bloodstone. Haven't really farmed a whole lot since the beginning of the game, so the Bloodstone has been pretty slow coming out. If I had gone for the Bloodstone a bit faster, I think, maybe instead of the magic wand, or opting for the magic wand instead of the bottle, I could probably gotten it a little bit faster, as well as obviously disassembling the arcane boots and getting the soul booster that much faster also. I would be pretty close to it at this point. Pretty close to finishing my Bloodstone, but I wasn't sure what to expect. I never played Rubick in a real game before, so I wanted to just play it safe with some more early game type things. I got my soul booster now, as well as the arcane boots. Was doing a lot of spam early games with the arcane boots. Were definitely a good pickup. So now we'll see how soon I'll be able to pick up the Bloodstone and really get that regen going. With the Bloodstone, it's not going to really increase my damage all that much, but my lane stability or lane survivability in team fights will be much higher, and I won't have to worry about mana as much, as I can just spam like crazy. So we see this illusion of Leshrac here. Wasn't sure if it was an illusion, so I just telekinesis it, and we just kill it off real quick. That's one of the things with telekinesis, is that it doesn't do any damage. So, even when you cast it on something, you can't really tell if it's an illusion or not until you do some other damage to it. So it looks like we're going to, right, we're going to try and push down the bottom tower here. We do need to pick up some more of these team objectives, get that easy gold, increase our lead, and play it safe here. Kunkka coming down. From mid, most of the Dire team is in mid and also in their base, so we're going to pick this up fairly easily. I'm just now reading telekinesis and seeing that, what it does when you level it up, and that it actually gives you more lift duration as well as stun duration on enemies. So they're starting to port in here. We're getting sideswiped, run to the back end there, cast Fade Bolt, and at this point, telekinesis on the Shadow Shaman. I grab Shadow Shaman's wards and cast my own next to his, and so we pick up the kill there, force the Dire team to back off. I think it's a good shackle shot along with X marks the spot, and we pick up the tower here. So that, as you can see, they had such a good initiation on us, but the combination of us just playing smartly, backing off to the side as they teleported in, we sort of let me see if I can pause this for a sec. They came in. Can I not move the camera while I'm pause? So they were coming from here and here. I thought I could draw on this. I guess it has to be going.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Yeah, so they're coming in from here and here. We backed off to the side and then down, which forced them to clump up here instead of having us coming from two sides. So, the Shadow Shaman dropped his wards. I nuked him, took his wards, placed mine, and then they were forced to back up this way, where we were able to chase and pick them up. So that really helps us out there. I get the Serpent wards back in another 40 seconds-ish. our Drow Ranger just showing his, you know, he's still pretty new to Dota, and you know that was probably the biggest mistake he made this game. He just sort of he caught himself more or less up the hill into their base and sort of sidestepped off to the side where he had no way to escape. There was just no way he was going to escape, and that was about it. You know, he just got picked up real easily by the Dire team. Just coming up here, farming a little bit on the farming and pushing the top wave a little bit. I've almost got enough gold for that bloodstone after that last team fight. The last team fight was really good. We got, you know, a couple kills, we got a tower, we pushed. Now we've got enough gold for that bloodstone. You'll be able to see that regen in action. I'll be spamming pretty constantly for the rest of the game in every fight. And you know, you'll just be able to see Rubick being a lot more effective. I think at this point there's probably going to be a little, or rather not a lot of action going on here. I think we're trying to go for Roshan maybe. Let's see the direct camera and auto speed this a little. Okay, so now we're just coming up here, pushing, casting the Fade Bolt, and Telekinesis, and I accidentally grabbed Lightning Storm. I'm so used to playing Shadow Shaman and casting the wards with R that I hit R and clicked on the Leshrac instead of D, which is what it defaults to for the spells you pick up when you spell steal. I really just wanted to ward trap the Leshrac, and so we're just gonna push in here. I accidentally grabbed that Lightning Storm. The Dire team is pretty upset with their Morphling, who's 0-8. The Dragon Knight not doing a whole lot better. He's 2-8 with 3 assists compared to 1. The Morphling only has 35 CS, so you're kind of seeing the you know, low experience nature of this game. The fact that I joined matchmaking with Slacko, who's fairly new to the game. So we just get this you know, Telekinesis holding him up here, and you know, quick pickup on the Leshrac. Morphling coming in here, and they're just gonna blow him up pretty quick. At this point, you know, not a whole lot that's going to be going on. The game is mostly over. We just back out and go for a little more farming. I'm just going to auto speed this. Push the top tower here. I don't know. I don't think this a team fight will go on here. Oh, we come down here mid for this Dragon Knight. I'm just going to telekinesis him when I get the chance. Head up the river just in case. There we go. I finally got that Elder Dragon form. That was what I was looking for. It's not turned into a little dragon here. And now I've got the Elder Dragon form attack. I was pretty happy with this. If you look, I actually have quite a large attack range. This is something I actually heard about on the forums. Is that there's unsure if it's a bug or if it's intentional, but when ranged heroes get Elder Dragon form, or you know, when Rubick spell steals Elder Dragon form, rather than, you know, how it makes Dragon Knight's attack range increase, rather than changing his attack into a ranged attack, it's just a, you know, a flat plus range increase, which means that range increase also applies to Rubick, who then, while in dragon form, has, you know, an extended range, auto attack range, which can be kind of crazy. So I'm just sort of running back up here. I was a little too a little too unsafe with my Elder Dragon form and died there a little bit. So just walking my way back up here. And we're just going to push down the racks. And the game is just about over at this point, so let's just auto speed through the rest of this. and we're going to
Dire's middle
pick
tower
up
is
the
under attack.
Dire Ancient.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you got to see some good use out of Rubick, how to play him, some basic builds for him,
Dire's middle
and
tower
some
has fallen.
interesting times you can have with him. Using the double nuke capability there, Fade Bolt and Ether Shock. So I had a lot of fun with Rubick. I've played him a couple times since this game, and he is still really fun. Casting the Slardar Crush there for laughs, and that's the game. So that's Rubick in a nutshell. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you've got any more tips or tricks for Rubick, please leave a comment below. And I guess that's about it. Thanks for watching, guys. And I'll see you next time. Good night and good luck.